Well, Ivan Katz here at a very, very famous spot in Boston. Very famous spot. Smash that like button and subscribe, and I'll tell you all about it starting right now. Look at this place. This was the house of a guy named Tommy Scholz. And he was 6'5", tall guy. And he was very good at basketball. He probably could have pursued that, but he was a whiz with electronics, and he could fix anything mechanical. Kind of like my dad, actually. My dad had that knack too, so I've always admired that. But he literally could fix anything, and he liked to tinker, and well, that's what he did. And what he's famous for, well, he was living here, and he was also a virtuoso, classically trained piano player. And then he picked up a guitar. He could really play anything. So what he did in his basement here, he thought it was going to be a hobby, but in his basement, here on this street, he recorded a very famous album called Boston. That's right, this is the house Tom Scholz lived and recorded the album Boston in the basement. Unheard of. Absolutely unheard of at the time. No one recorded stuff at home. It just was not accepted. And there's a lot of interesting stories associated with it, and I am well researched to tell you all about them, and that's what I'm going to do. He was working, he had graduated from MIT, and he was working at Polaroid. And he self-admits that he was a terrible employee because he was spending all his time recording the album in the basement of this house. And, well, sometimes he didn't make it to work on time. He said he rarely made it to work on time. And so he was actually using all sorts of technical wizardry to get the sounds he wanted. And he didn't have a band. It's like, you know, you've heard of that before these days with like Ben Folds 5. You know, there wasn't really a 5, it was just Ben Folds. And that was what happened with him. Basically, what ended up happening is he recorded all the demos here, and except for the drums and except for the vocals of Brad Delp, he recorded everything right here. And what happened was, he even recorded some of Brad Delp's vocals, because that's a cool story too. But what happened was, the record producer actually came right here, and he was at what I would believe to be this front door right here. Most likely it could have been, is it a chance that it could have been this side door? I think it was that front door, but could have been this side door. I think they maybe rent out part of the house and they've subdivided it. It was probably this main door right here, and the record producer was leaving, and he was like, no, you can't record it this way. And he was, you know, thought he was going to get rejected again, but the guy turned around at the last second and said, all right. And Tom said he kind of held his breath and didn't speak. Fortunately, the guy offered to split the royalties with him 50-50. So that was a huge financial decision, with him not speaking and holding his tongue there, because he was about to be all excited and say, yes, you know, I think I'll do anything. But basically, that's not what happened. He got 50% of the producer's royalties, and that amounts to a lot when you sell 25 million copies of a record. Boston's first record, you know, Foreplay, Long Time, More Than a Feeling. I mean, it's such a legendary album, and just amazing. But then what happened was, he had to convince them that he was kind of a band. So he hired a couple musicians, and they went out to LA to kind of be the fake band to record with the record producers in LA. He had Brad Delp, the singer, and also the drummer. And he was able to record most of the vocals. He was sending the demo, the tracks to LA. And what happened was, Brad Delp couldn't get some of the high stuff, so he actually recorded them here. And then he had to bring them out to LA again. So it's really a wild process. And, you know, again, unheard of to record something at home. How did he do it? Well, he used, it was even said he used like Shure, you know, just the regular SM57s for mics. And the Yamaha 12 string that was Brad Delp's is heard on More Than a Feeling. Of course, they could have gotten more higher end stuff. The total expenditure, I think he said $2,000 to record that demo. Absolutely crazy. $2,000. And what quality? I was talking to a neighbor here, and you know, everybody's got a story. Even the mailman was like, yeah, that's because I wanted to verify to make sure I was in the right place, but I actually verified it with photographs. So this is the correct house, and just a nice leafy neighborhood in Boston. Probably was a little cheaper at the time that he lived here in the 70s. And so he worked for Polaroid up until the album really came out, and it made the top 5 in the nation, and then he handed in his notice. But and of course the rest is history. His technical wizardry resulted in like the Rockman, and you know, he would literally take compressors and recording devices and things like that and tweak them to meet the standards that he wanted. He said that he wanted to record as if he was playing for like 1,000 people. He wanted it to sound like a real band, so he tried to have that in mind. And again, he played all the instruments except for the drums and the singing. So he really did record the whole album. Unheard of, absolutely amazing. Smash that like button and subscribe if you like this story about Tom Scholz's house where he recorded the Boston debut album here in Massachusetts, Boston. So incredibly cool. Watch all of my videos if you like cars, Driving Ivan, and also watch my Jimi Hendrix's Life and Death and Lady Friends in London, Jim Morrison's Life and Death in Paris, France. I show you all the places that the Doors like to hang out, and I talk about how he might have died and what I think the real story is with his death. Watch me play Hotel California on all the instruments, and also watch Maggie May. I've got out there. I did actually record More Than a Feeling by Boston. Maybe I'll do a video on that sometime, but I haven't yet. Maybe this will be the motivation. But definitely check that out and watch all of my videos, Driving Ivan, as I said. Subscribe, like, share, and definitely leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this great story here. Thank you so much for watching here at Tom Scholz's house where the album Boston was recorded. I am producer Ivan Katz. Check out my disc golf videos too, why not? Just shot a great one at Maple Hill, also in Massachusetts. Rock on.